What are the best gadgets in Battlefield 6? It's a question that you guys have asked me a lot, mostly because you haven't unlocked all of them or you're very curious and you just want to know which ones you should focus on putting in. In some cases, some of these gadgets are absolutely terrible. In some cases, they're quite good, but you wouldn't know unless you have a tier list. So here you go. Obviously, warning, opinions ahead. This one is obviously live on YouTube and on Twitch as usual. If you guys want to come and say hi after seeing this video or disagree with any of my takes, let me know. This tier list, we're going to sort per class. Starting off with Assault, we've got 6 gadgets if you include the fact you can add a third weapon. This third weapon is usually the shotgun, but it can be carbine, DMR, or shotgun. The problem is that when you do pick this as a third gadget, you get a significant loss to your ammo. I believe it's like 3 or 4 magazines on your primary, and you get like, if you're a shotgun, for example, you only get the primary and the secondary mag. I think it depends per gun. I'm not going to go too in detail on that. Most of these are not super good either, which is why Assault is not like that good. So it still rates quite high compared to everything else, but it's not like amazing. That's in this case, I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Next up, we have the X95 BRE. This is a flashbang. You shoot it and it explodes into flashes, but only if you hit an enemy, then it flashes the enemy and everyone looking at them. I think it's supposed to hit people through the walls or something, or flash them through the walls. That's how it's been explained to me, but we tried it when we were testing it and we literally could not get it to flash most of the time. So it either doesn't work properly or not as expected. It's just a glorified flashbang as a gadget, I think. Doesn't flash vehicles. It's an F tier for me. It's a big fat F for me. I'm gonna say the noob tube is definitely, like, I would say an A tier. This just does a lot of damage, or a decent amount of damage. Has a slight destructive ability. Helps break some walls down, some palisades or like facades on buildings or something on, for example, Cairo, but overall does not really have that much like meaningful damage. If you want to kill somebody, you have to hit him head on. If you just miss them slightly, you do 90 damage. It's not much at all. Yes, you can blow holes in walls, I think, or like the floor, but overall it's not like amazing. Moving on, we have the redeploy beacon that has to be an S tier. Obviously, you have an ability to combining it with your ladder, or just like if you go take a deep flank, you can go put the beacon down. If you get caught, you just respawn on it. You basically have infinite respawns on that thing. When you do spawn on it, it disappears, but you just put a new one down. So you basically just get a perma spawn somewhere safe, assuming you can hide it well in a good position. So it is pretty damn strong. You can also just like use it to cheese and put the beacon somewhere like on a high ground or something, and swap to sniper, swap to support, and then go crazy with that if you would like. It should probably not be in the game, but it is currently. So what are you gonna do? M32OA thermal, I feel like I'm gonna put in D tier. So in open beta, this was like a stun grenade almost. Like you shoot somebody with it and they were on fire for like 2 seconds, could not fight back at all, couldn't move, and took damage over time. I believe it was like pretty severely nerfed in this version of the game because it doesn't seem nearly as oppressive, and it doesn't seem from our testing to do anything like that meaningful damage. It's like 50 instant damage and not 15 more damage over time, and it doesn't really stun you for much at all. So it's very weak currently. That doesn't really do much. Next up, we have the SS26. This is Saiga-ish semi-auto fire shotgun. It does one shot if you're really close. So it's like an XM 1014 sort of, except a little bit worse. It sets whoever you hits on fire. It sets the ground on fire if you hit it. It's a little cool thing. Like imagine you use this as a shotgun instead of the M87. Like, hey, yeah, sure, go for it. But I'd say that overall though, you don't have much use for this because of how weak it is over mid to long. It just like, maybe I'm missing what you're supposed to do with it, but it's just like there to make like cool fires, I guess. I'm gonna put it in C tier. And then lastly, Assault Ladder is an S tier. Assault Ladder lets you climb up to 10 meters in any direction. It lets you make a ramp for a head glitch. It lets you do the cool little movement tech where you teleport or like go zoom in, although that's obviously gonna be nerfed. You can climb on high grounds, find off angles, use it as cover, though not very usefully. It's not very strong. In a game like Battlefield, it's just too valuable to pass up on. I'll probably actually keep the shotgun up here, maybe move this one down like that. That feels right. Moving on, we have Engineer. We're gonna have some hot takes in this one, I'll tell you that one. Now, obviously, I'm gonna have to say this beforehand, especially for Engineer. These are very situational. Starting with the MBT law. It one-shots a soldier when you hit them. Obviously, you're not gonna use this against infantry. It deals 294 damage against tanks or IFVs, and those have 1,000 health. I think generally speaking, vehicles display their health in 1,000, but it goes to, I think there's like a percentage almost. So displays it in 1,000, but you can divide by 10 and you're gonna get like a percentage damage. I guess it would deal 29.40% damage. I think there's like a way to unlock better resistance down the line, so I'm not sure. Like, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. Let's just put this one for here for now. We might move it. The SLM-93A, aka the Stinger, is extremely purpose built. Honestly, I'd have to put it one step below. It is perfect for taking out choppers. It's perfect for taking out jets. It does 90 damage on a jet. You need to assist the enemy jets or flyers fighting it, or if you have 2 engineers, because they're gonna flare it. I believe you have 2 Stingers, but you're gonna have more ground vehicles, so you will have more use for the MBT law or the RPG or something like that. But it's a good, it's like, you know, if there's a chopper, there's a problem. A few people pick a stinger, snipe it down, it's gone fast. Supply crate, what it does is you put it down, I guess you can climb it, but really resupplies vehicles, gives them ammo, and like resets their cooldowns faster. I guess if you're fighting a 1v1 with a tank, this can be valuable, but overall, you're not gonna see much value from this. PTKM1R. This is a mine. It's an anti-vehicle mine that shoots one like a projectile up that hits from top down. The vehicle has to be within line of sight, about 10 meters away, and it deals 600 damage against the tank, I think. But you can only carry one at a time, so you have to follow it up with like an RPG or something, and depending on your RPG, it's not even enough. It doesn't do that much damage, so it's not that good, and you still have to put it quite exposed. You can put it a little bit off to the side, you can hide it a little bit to the side. So that's, I guess, good if people are good at scanning for mines, but overall, it just doesn't really do it nearly enough damage for me to consider it to be worth it. We have the M4A1 Slam. I think we're gonna put this one in, I think this is a B tier. I think it's a B tier. This is like a trip wire. If a vehicle drives into it, it shoots a projectile that deals a meaningful amount of damage. Not an insane amount, but you can carry a lot of them. It is 250 against tanks on the side, I believe, everywhere. So just a little bit of damage. Why not? And you can just like put a lot of them along the way, so it keeps hitting them until they break. Doesn't hit as hard as like, for example, the AV mine, but it does do a little bit of damage. Fun to know if you do use this and a vehicle that's too fast goes by, like an AFV, maybe not AFV, but I don't know, a transport car when it's boosting could go past that, you zoom past and you were fine. Or it's not like a guaranteed kill, even on like the low health targets like that. M136AT. I'm gonna rate this really lowly. It's like an AT launcher that you can find on the map, but it's worse. You get up, you shoot it, and like it follows wherever you're aiming, so you can snipe stuff out of the air. You can snipe vehicles quite easily with it. It's amazing, except it deals no damage at all. It doesn't one-shot flyers. It doesn't one-shot jets or the transport vehicles either. I think it like two-shots them, and it like 80% against jets or attack choppers. It doesn't do nearly enough damage to actually kill a flying vehicle. They cannot do a counter measure on it though, because it follows your cursor, so there's that. But you do need your team to also shoot them to finish the kill off, or you can shoot them again, I guess the flyers. The MAS 148. This one I might be underestimating, but I'm also gonna put that in C tier. It lets you lock on tanks, it lets you lock on flyers if they're painted by a Recon. However, I think the damage is not like nothing amazing. A painted jet does get one shot, at least from my testing. It has an insanely high lock range, but it does about 9,000 damage against transport, 900, sorry. It does about 350 damage against tanks / IFV, so you actually don't kill them outright, which I guess balances out the fact that you can snipe somebody from like 500 plus meters away with this thing. It can only lock on, so it's not really, I don't know, man. Like normally, if I play against a tank, I'm gonna have to fight against, like I'm gonna have to deal with them myself. Something like the M36AT, something like the MAS, SLM, you just normally don't get much value for them because you need somebody else to do it with you. MBT law, that's why I like the more, you have enough rockets usually with the right specialization as well. Next up, we have the RPG, just to finish all the launchers. I'm gonna put that in the A tier. It's very much like the MBT law, except it has a little bit more of a skill. Depending on where you hit the vehicle, it would deal more damage. For example, against a tank, it will be like 594 to 600 in the back. If you shoot him in the front, it's 300. If you shoot him on the sides, it's also about 600. On top, it should take a lot of damage too, but we couldn't figure out the exact number. The point is though that it does a lot of damage when you hit the sweet spots or the crit points, which the MBT law only hits from the top, but the RPG lets you hit like from a few other sides, which is nice as well, assuming you know like where they take more damage. It also does more damage because the MBT law only did 294 against a tank or an IFV, whereas a RPG can do upwards of like 500 or 500. Okay, I'm gonna move everything up one step. I think S tier is makes them sound very good, but I guess they are. Yeah, we'll just move those up a bit. Next up, we have the AV mine. I think this one is really good. Probably, is it S tier? I'm not sure. I'll put it in A tier because it is niche. Obviously, you can do anything against flyers. If the enemies are smart, they're gonna like break them or not drive over them. The AV mine is extremely valuable though, extremely strong. You get 3 each per life. These persist upon death. It does a ton of damage. A singular mine deals 1,000 damage against like a car or AFV, so they get like immediately destroyed. It does 770 damage against an IFV or a tank, but if you have another mine right next to it, they're gonna daisy chain and both blow up and kill them anyways. You could easily put 2 mines near each other and blow them up. Only issue is the tank or even the IFV, I guess the threads has to touch the mine, but if you're smart with how you place it, you're usually gonna be fine. And then finally, we have the EOD bot. Maybe this is an S tier. I'm not really an EOD enjoyer, but I do see the value from it. I'm gonna put it in A tier now. This is basically a little robot. It has a battery. You can run around with, you can drive around with it, all have a bunch of fun. And when you're driving on, it does deplete a little bit faster. Your primary fire lets you use basically the repair tool. Your secondary fire lets you shoot a cluster of grenades that do deal damage. You can also lay a mine with this thing, or a set of mines. The mines do 418 damage against tanks each. If you put down 3 of them, that would one-shot a tank, for example. So you can use this to clear mines and disarm them. You can use this to put your own mines down. You can use this to repair vehicles or destroy vehicles, or kill people. It's a nice additional thing, mostly like a bit of a meme thing, but depending in some situations, you can get a lot of work done with it. Additionally, if you play something like Rush, it can arm and disarm the MCOM apparently. So yeah, you can just send it to arm the MCOM without risking your life as well. Cool. Engineer is done. Moving on. First up, we have portable cover. I think this is S tier. You can place cover. You can have 2 available at a time to have a sizable amount of health. It lets you head glitch or set up a bipod depending on your weapons. It's insanely good. You can use it as a stepping stool to climb higher. It's like a pseudo ladder. That's pretty damn solid. Oh, this one is gonna be controversial. ottr. That's an F tier. I don't know why they even bothered with adding it. It's just not good. From my experience, the damage isn't that good. As soon as you use it, you get marked. Enemies get a big glowing thing on their screen under HUD exactly where you are. It takes forever. It's for the projectiles to land. It can shoot smoke and like normal explosives, but it doesn't do much damage. You don't get to use the map either, but you aim with the like trajectory. I guess it helps getting snipers or like high ground campers off, but that only works if they're stuck in one spot. If it's like a really big spot like Sobek City, like the high grounds there people glitch up on, it doesn't make a difference whatsoever. So overall, I feel like it's an F tier. You guys are free to like argue with me in the comments, but I don't think it's good at all. Another S tier pick is of course the supply pouch. This thing is insane in the membrane. I'm pretty sure it does. You can have 9 of these up at a time if you have the fire support and like you heal yourself up with the medkit and resupply yourself with the medkit. The supply pouch can be dropped on the feet for yourself or thrown to a teammate up to 20 meters away with auto locks on them. When they're hit by this, you get a, I believe, 20% health instant heal, assuming they're not suppressed, and then it starts regen immediately. It also gives them 2 magazines worth of ammo, and using this takes like 0.1 seconds, so it's super fast, and you will be able to start shooting almost immediately after healing. Like if you're in a high pressure situation, you can just run around and like you just throw this on the ground and heal up and reset and then go again. It's insanely strong. Moving on, we have the M32-0A1 smoke. I'm gonna put this very low. I feel like maybe it's a C or D tier. I see the value from it, so I'm gonna put it in C tier, but it's just a smoke grenade that you have underslung. You have way better options you can use. That's why I put it in C tier. Like just use something else. It's not worth it just to be able to like shoot a smoke slightly longer. I'm pretty sure you only have like 2 at a time as well. I could be wrong on that. Defibrillator, obvious S tier choice. It lets you revive people, bring them back from the dead. What's not to love? You can either get people back with 50 health or 100 health. You sprint faster with it. If you have the sledgehammer equipped, you can use the defibrillator and sprint with it in your hands. You will run faster than if you had your knife out, which lets you rotate faster. You can have the paddles charged, and then you just tap your teammates like with fully charged while you're able to sprint around and stuff, which is pretty great. It also apparently can deal damage to tanks with it. 40 each a hit, or 60, so there's that. You can also kill enemies with it, but realistically you won't. It's 60 for a full charge and 40 damage for a small charge. The SICK G1 WP, this is a fire airburst launcher, fires a cloud. If you stay inside of it, you will die. People just walk out of the cloud. It's not really that oppressive. The maximum range is 25 meters, so it doesn't really go that far either. It's pretty much like a grenade in that sense. You could just have thrown a grenade there to accomplish the same thing. I am gonna put that in the... Is it worse or better than the smoke launcher? I feel like the bottom end of these is just like it's a mid-off. They're all gonna be bad. I'm gonna put it in D. Let's put them both on C. But they're not very good. The GPDIS, same thing. I'm gonna have to put this one in A tier. I think it's pretty solid. Not quite as good as these, but it's extremely good. Eats incoming projectiles. When you activate it, you have, I believe, 8 seconds where it will eat up to 3 more projectiles. I think it says in the description, doesn't it? I'm gonna double check that. Yeah, up to 3 windows. Yeah, it can eat up to 3 of them at a time in this window. It's pretty strong if you're playing infantry and you take a 1v1. You can just pop this on the ground and then heal yourself and the team is up. Or just to offset pressure. You're not going to just come, you can eat it. It will stop pushes with smokes. It will stop pushes with any type of grenades. Most projectiles, just not rockets. Which is why you have the MAPS, which I'm going to put in the B tier because I do believe that is worse than the GPDIS for one simple reason. This is the GPDIS version of for tanks or RPGs for larger projectiles. It has a longer range. However, it has a 5-second window and it doesn't really make that big of a difference. The tank can just run over it or just wait 5 seconds and then blow you up again. It's good to have if you know there's going to be a lot of tanks and you want to be able to like survive like 1 shot to the face, maybe 2. But in most cases, you're not going to get much value out of this thing other than saving you once in a while. And then finally, we're going to take a look at the Recon. Now, Recon is mostly just getting information for your team, but it actually has a lot of team play potential in the kit. You have the AP mine. It's good for if you're sniping, you're holding vantage points, you're just getting like cheesy kills. It's all right. It one-shots one person, and I'll put an A for now. The only issue with it is that it's a bit slow and doesn't activate half the time. I'm gonna put in B for that reason. It might be bugged or missing something, but a lot of times we put up the mines, we even tested it and just didn't go off. There's a lot of things that determine whether it will go off or not, and that makes it too unreliable to rely on, I guess. Tracer dart is gonna be like a D tier, I think. It lets you paint one target. If you whiff it, it paints the ground. You can paint a person, which is funny. But this just allows an engineer to lock on and kill them with their launchers if they have a launcher for that, the Stinger or the MAS 148. However, the dart does not stay for very long. It was just a few seconds and then it disappeared when we tested it. So it doesn't seem very strong compared to the other gadgets you have that actually lets you lock on for seemingly an infinite amount of time. For example, the laser designator. It's a set of binoculars. You can aim down the binoculars where it will automatically ping anyone you look at or like spot them for your team. It has a thermal vision and a rangefinder, makes it easy for you to determine like, okay, if you're on a higher ground, like where are the people at? Let's set up and shoot them. You can place it as well and use it remotely. So you can have it softly set up on a rooftop, and then you can be playing like in a window below or something, and you can look around with that and determine who to shoot. The softline also automatically spots enemies when it is deployed. They'll see like a red laser, but other than that, they can't really see much. They'll also get a, as with the mortar, like a HUD warning kind of thing, like a red image of it, a red icon. But other than that, it's not as obvious that it spots you and all the teammates. It's extremely good for all the information that it gives you. Definitely an S tier. Decoys also should be pretty good, but they're bugged. You get 3 at a time. You can put them up. They seem to persist. Anyone who shoots them should apparently get like a wall hack reveal, or at the very least like a spot. So it makes it easy for you to shoot back to them if you're sniping. They also should take property of your glint, where if you're close enough or something like that, instead of the glint coming from your sniper, it will come from their sniper. So when you put the decoys down, they do have a glint. It should do that according to the description, but it doesn't do that. There's still lumps that look like people if you set them up properly, but it's hard to tell. It does help if you take it 1v1. You can even hide behind it, use it as cover or whatever, but overall it's like, it doesn't work properly. It's bugged. C4, I'm gonna put here an A tier, mostly because it gives you an ability to, you can either like lob it in, kill infantry. You need to like get direct hits. You're gonna need at least 2 to kill somebody, maybe even 3. It can destroy buildings, cover, pretty valuable. It can destroy vehicles. If you put up to 3 of them, it kills the tank. Very valuable. You can also put it on like put it on your drone, which we'll talk about in a little bit, or you can put it on your vehicle and crash into it and then blow it up and they die as well. Very valuable stuff. So I'll put that in A tier, but obviously this depends on like how you're playing, if they're vehicles and whatever. If you're just sitting on a high ground, sniping up further away, you can benefit more for something else, like this one. Next up, we have the Recon drone. I think the Recon drone is it's okay. Obviously, right now you have a glitch. People have been doing this: stand on the drone, the sledgehammer the drone, and like sends them up into Narnia. Obviously, that doesn't really determine my rankings here. I think it's just a very valuable gadget. You can fly this drone up and just leave it, and it will automatically spot enemies that are within LOS. You can stand on it, even without the glitch, I would say. You're probably gonna nerf that either way. It has a battery. The battery drains the farther you drive, so it's a bit scuffed, but it doesn't have infinite range, so you can fly quite far as long as the battery lasts. You can put C4s on it and use it as like a suicide drone and drive it into tanks. However, obviously the battery depletes faster. You can drive it into people and blow it up, because when the drone explodes, it sets up a chain reaction that explodes the C4 as well, and it explodes from the battery running out. The drone also spots enemy gadgets through walls, much like that one, I think it was like a 2042 gadget or 2042 hero, I think, that had like a passive that did that. So you can see mines, you can see GPDISS, you can see deploy beacons, like whatever. You can see it on the ground. It displays very clearly in red. Some of these items, such as mines, you can remotely detonate with your primary fire. Just fly up and then hit primary fire and it explodes it. Simple as that. It's a pretty valuable tool overall. A lot of these just give you information and have like a little bit of niche use cases, but they get the job done. They're cool. And yeah, those are all the tires or whatever, if you guys agree.